Okay, good day everyone. Um, Welcome back to, of course, our discussion on understanding closer society and politics. So today class, or balikan muna natin in our previous lesson, we have discussed about the culture and society as anthropological and sociological concepts. Now we have learned about the what is anthropology, what is sociology, so what are the means types of culture or yung we have mainstream culture, subculture, a counterculture. We have also cultural universals, cultural particular, and the cultural capital. Today, he will discuss. We will discuss about the perspectives in or approaches to the study of culture and society. Okay, our learning target for this lesson is to demonstrate a holistic understanding of culture and society. So, quick activity muna tayo before we proceed with our discussion. So, let us have the short activity called Crack the Code. So, while you were listening to this discussion class, so you could pause for a moment, no, to crack the code. Okay, so you will notice a series of class numbers on the screen. So your task, it's simple. You just need to crack the code. Okay, I will not give you any clue class clues because I think you are all familiar with this activity. Okay, try to crack this code. Let's see if you can decode the words. Okay, our first code is 28, 5, 15, 18, and 25. Okay, you have an answer already. So this is theory. So class, quick explanation, definition of theory is simply an explanation of why something happens. For example, so why do some communities become peaceful while others experience conflict? Or instead of simply guessing, sociologists develop theories supported by observations and research. Next, okay, this is paradigms. Very good. This is approaches. This one is perspective. So class, those or these four words are connected with each other. So think of it this way. Example class. Imagine you and your classmates are watching a basketball game. So one student is watching from the bleachers. Then another is watching courtside. Someone else also is watching on television. So everyone is watching the same game. But each person notices different things because they have different perspective. Now, the same idea applies in studying or when studying society. Different theories help us class see society from different angles naman. Okay, again, our topic for this discussion is about perspectives in approaches to the study of culture and society. Okay, now for your initial task, okay, using your intuition, analyze the different situation presented and connect it to the corresponding theories that you think best describe the given phenomena. Okay, let us skip na lang this one class. Okay, now let us unlock different let us unlock words or unlocking difficult words. Okay, so we have first term is theory. So again, kanina, sabi ko na ito, but theory is a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle or body of principles offered to explain phenomena. Okay? Paradigms, a philosophical and theoretical framework of a scientific school or discipline within which theories, laws, and generalizations and experiments performed in support of them are formulated. So class, a paradigm is a framework or a way of looking at society. So muna siya og kuan glass, eyeglasses. So if you wear different glasses, you may see the same object differently. So in sociology, different paradigms help us understand the same social issue from different perspectives. Now, theoretical paradigms naman provide different perspectives into the social structures of life and the relationships of people living in a society. Okay, now when we say theoretical paradigm again, it is a general framework that helps sociologists study our society. Next, approaches to make advances, especially in order to create a desired result. Anong gagawin? Approach or it it refers to a method or way of examining a social issue. O pwede din ang approach. What is your approach for that kind of problem? So, it is about a method. It talks about method. Paano ginawa? Next, perspectives, a mental view or prospects. So, simply class, it just means a point of view. A point of view of something. Macro being large, thick, or exceptionally prominent. Meso, mid, or in the middle. And micro is very small. So, later on, we will discuss more deeply about this word. So, quick again idea lang of what is macro, no, looking into the society as a whole, okay, in terms of sociology, while meso naman, it focuses on groups or organizations. It is in the middle, while micro focuses on individuals and small groups. So not a society as a whole, but it focuses on simply on the individuals. Okay, so again, macro looks at the society as a whole, meso looks at organizations and groups, micro naman class looks at interactions between individuals. Now let us go or let us now talk about paradigms. So according to Griffiths et al. 2015, as stated in the study of Kennedy, these are, or paradigms are theoretical frameworks used to explain people's culture and society. So class, instead on relying on assumptions, mga basis assumptions sometimes, the sociologists use these frameworks to study people objectively. So itong mga paradigms na to, it also help us avoid bias. These frameworks are perspective which are used to observe and examine the people and their society in um, different lenses. So according to Norwood and Gentian 2017, using these theoretical paradigms help the people, especially the students, remove biases in assessing people and their social issues at all levels of analysis. So, ano yung tatlong levels natin ng analysis? We have macro, meso, and micro. So, these, again, paradigms also help us avoid bias. For example, Um, Imagine you hear the student often comes to school late. So it's yung classmate mo always late siya. So instead of immediately saying na anong late man na siya, kay tapulan man na siya. So, in sociology, it encourages us class to ask questions first. Bakit ba palagi siyang late? So, maybe the question is, layo ba? Tagalayo ba siyang municipality? Or does the student have family responsibilities? Pagkabuntag, kay bisan siya lang isa pod, or siya nag-aalaga, na siya manghul ng iyang ating manon every morning, or baka meron siyang financial difficulties. Kasi nagbakta sa siya, layo-layo ilaha. So, sociologist examines the whole situation before making conclusions, before mag-judge. Okay, that is why class sociology teaches us not only to observe behavior but also to understand the reasons behind it. Not just purely interactions of the people, but let us also try to understand class the reasons of that behavior. So another important point is that people's actions are influenced by many factors. So hindi natin masisisi ang isang tao kung palagi siyang late. Okay, kasi again, hindi naman natin alam kung ano pa yung mga ginagawa niya. Okay? Baka um, because of his or her family, income, financial capabilities, or sa kanyang social environment. So that is why understanding society really class requires looking at the bigger picture. So it's a just class that we should see society as a whole also para mas maintindihan natin ang interactions in between people. So, moreover, these perspectives highlight the broader social context of behavior by, again, looking at individual social location, employment, income, education, gender, age, and race. So, there are three major paradigms in the field of sociology. In understanding, so again, according to sociology, there are three major theoretical paradigms used to study society. So we have structural functionalism, the symbolic interactionism, and conflict theory. Now, again, I think you are familiar with conflict theory already. So class, each of these explains society differently. So none of them class ha nga na itama gyud pod ug na ay mali automatically right or wrong. Instead, each one helps understand different aspects of social lives now. So let us discuss them one by one. Okay, um our first theoretical paradigm. This is one of my favorite theory class. No, actually this is one of my favorite theories because this is okay, it is a macro sociological perspective. Okay, again, macro sociological. Now it views society also as a whole, which investigates the various parts of society that work together by fulfilling their respective functions to create a peaceful society. So functionalist class believe or examine how parts of the society contributes to the whole. So they believe that society class is like a human body. So imagine class ang kuan um lawas sa tao. Okay? Unsa may naa sa sulod. Think about your body. Okay, unsay naa sa imuhang tibuok lawas. Okay? You have your heart, and unsay gamit sa imong heart. But it pumps our blood, your lungs. It helps you breathe. Your brain also contributes to our movements. So class, just like our organs sa atong body class, it is like structural functionalism theory. Sabi dito, each part, again, every part of the society has its own function. It means that kahit unsa pa kadira ano ka pa dira sa society, you have contributed to the society as a whole. So even a negative contribution helps society in developing laws and consequences for people committing such act. For example, society defined the influence of alcohol and drugs as undesirable behavior. So in line with this, people created law and consequences for those people committing such an act. So basically, Gani class, this is the theoretical paradigm that tells us na natay pulos tanan. Okay? Sa society, sa atong community, natay contribution, natay pulos. So, bisag tambay ka na class, kanang tambay pag ka nga perti ka badlungon, o na kay pulos. Eh, because of you, naibuhaton ang mga authorities, naibuhaton ng law. Okay? So, you still have contributed to the society. Even negatively, it's still a contribution. And this explains class. Again, structural functionalism approach or theory, every part of the society has its own function. Think of it class like a giant machine. Now, that machine class, diba, it is composed of parts. Okay? Now, yung machine, let us say that is the government system. And the government system, it is composed of course, many parts, many institutions, such as we have um, political institutions, of course, cultural institutions, or okay, let us say the society is composed of this the family, we have the government, we have education, no, we have the schools, we have religion. So it is composed of many parts, our society. Like different institutions, churches, businesses. So all of this class perform different functions. Okay? Lahat ng sinabi ko, they have different functions. So if each now institutions performs its role properly, society becomes more stable and organized. Okay, now let us use a more familiar example. Imagine our school. Teachers teach. Diba? Students learn. The principal naman supervises the school. We have also the RPM sisters. We have also security guards to maintain safety. And, sino pa ba? We have the registrar to keep your school record. So, each person class has a different responsibility, but everyone contributes to achieving the school's goals. So, that is structural functionalism. Okay? So, again, every part of the society has its own function. So, class, this approach or this theoretical paradigm says that if now the institutions once in one institution class fails, no, fails to, okay, yung role niya, yung responsibility niya inside the society, ang mangyayari dyan, class, kaya nagde-dysfunction yung society. Kasi, merong isang part doon sa isang system ang nagloloko. For example, what have you observed to our society right now, to our country? One function, okay? I mean, one part, okay? Isang part lang yan ang nag-dysfunction. For example, our government system. As part of the society, nag-dysfunction. Kasi ang daming nangyayari sa ating government ngayon. Nag-dysfunction na yung government natin, yung gobyerno natin. O kaya anong nangyari? Maraming affected. Okay? Kung isa lang na siya ka-institution ang mag-dysfunction, and that is part. Okay? Kung part na siya sa machine, maguba din ang machine. Isa lang na siya kabuo, maguba ang machine. And that is what is happening right now. Okay? Because of one institution na nag-fail, nagsanga-sanga na yung nag-fail. And then, pag sanga-sanga, affected na ang almost lahat ng part ng isang system. Okay? Pagkadaot, muna ka ng gulay, di ba? Pag itapok na nimo siya, ang isa ana, una madaot. Okay? Magtakod-takod ng kadaot. That is why if one system fails, kaya nagde-dysfunction yung system. Yun yung isang nangyayari ngayon sa bansa natin, class. Okay, now we have two types of function. Okay? These are the types or important concepts under the structural functionalism. So, we have two types, the manifest and the latent function. When we say manifest function, class, it is a society, or in a society refers to an expected outcome. Okay? Again, expected outcome. Example, using a pencil to develop written communication. Yun yung expected outcome ng, okay, ng pencil. Pang ano ba yung pencil? Panulat. Anong latent function ng pencil? Ano ba yung latent function? The unexpected outcome. Kung yung manifest, expected, yung latent naman, latent function, is the unexpected outcome. Now, using a pencil, for example, to stop someone. Now, when a function creates unexpected results, this leads to latent dysfunction. Latent dysfunction. Okay. Now, for manifest functions, these are intended and expected outcomes. They result in an action. For example, again, the purpose of going to school is to learn new knowledge, diba? Ano ba yung purpose kung bakit tayo nag-aaral? To learn, to develop knowledge, develop skills. Now, that is the manifest function of education. Now, ano kaya yung latent function o latent function ng education? If these are unexpected or unintended outcomes or unexpected results. For example, while studying in school, as the manifest function, we learn to develop our skills and our knowledge. Also, class, okay? Also, students develop friendships, leadership skills, pwede rin yung mga professional networks. These were not the main reasons for going to school, di ba? Hindi naman para talaga maging friends tayo doon sa school. Mag-aral talaga yung pinaka-purpose why we go to school. So that is the manifest function. The latent function naman is that we created friends or even family inside the school. So, if this class, if when a function also creates unexpected results, so this is related this function, which refers to the unexpected or unexpected negative consequences. Okay, balik tayo doon sa pencil. For example, a pencil is intended for writing, di ba? But if someone uses it to hurt another person, that is an unintended and harmful use. Okay? So, again, tandaan lang, pinagkaiba ng manifest at latent function. Pag manifest, ibig sabihin, intended, expected outcome. Kapag naman latent function, unexpected outcome. Okay? Unexpected or unintended outcome. Okay, now let us go to our second major um, political or political uh, theoretical paradigm. Okay, we have conflict theory, Karl Marx, diba? Conflict theory. It is a macro-sociological perspective which aims to explore the competition among social groups over the resources in the society. Each subgroup may compete for status, power, fame, money, territory, and other resources for economic and social achievements. Sorry. Okay, conflict theory also examines how group of persons who are in power maintain and or impose their power and how groups of people without power work to acquire power. For example, the war over racism in the United States with competing group of black people versus the white people. So let us go back. Unlike class, yung structural functionalism, which also focuses on cooperation, conflict theory focuses on competition naman and inequality. So it argues that people and groups compete for limited resources such as yung wealth, yung power, education, opportunities, and social status. So because class resources are limited, conflicts naturally occurred. Yun yung reason, main reason of why there is always conflict. Assist again, limited due to limited resources. Okay, let us use a simple example. So imagine there is only one scholarship available, but hundreds of students apply. Everyone wants the scholarship, of course, kasi madili, no? Because it provides financial assistance. Since only one student can receive it, competition naturally happens. So, conflict theory class explains this kind of competition over um, limited resources. Okay, limited resources. Example, again, pag mag-apply kang job, so many applicants compete for a single position. So this competition happens because opportunities are limited. Okay, remember the word limited. So, conflict theory examine how those also in power maintain their position and how those without power try to gain it. Okay? Again, conflict theory. There is a limited resources, limited lang ang limited lang yung kaya. That is why nag-i-exist yung conflict always. Kasi meron naman talaga mga tao din that they compete for status and power, especially for money. Okay, and that because limited again yung resources natin. Now, let us go to next major paradigm, symbolic interactionism approach. Actually, this is also one of my favorite na again. Katulad ng structural functionalism approach. So, unlike again the first two theories, this is a micro-sociological. Hindi siya macro or bigger as a whole. Instead of studying society as a whole, it studies everyday interaction between people. Okay? How people interpret meaning and symbol to understand and navigate the social world. It documents the different ways of individuals in creating, disseminating, and interpreting reality through everyday face-to-face interactions. These interactions form thoughts and behaviors in response to others' influential opinions and decision making. For example, hearing or seeing a word symbol results to mental image and comprehension about the information shared. For example, the symbol ng kaning class. This is cross na siya. Is most commonly understood as a sign of salvation among Christians. But it depends on how the person sees the symbol. Pwede din naman sabihin niya na addition yan, not a sign of cross. Diba? So, um, it focuses class on how people give meaning to symbols, give meanings to give meaning to words, gestures, and actions of people. Okay, so para makarelate mo class, okay, think about emojis. Diba? When someone sends a heart, kanang heart kaning emoji class, kung saan yung may ano-ano, mahuna-hunaan. What do you immediately understand about that? Diba? It is about love or affection in the heart. Pag magkuan class, kanang mag-like, o diba, kanang thumbs up ba? Diba? When someone sends that, wala siya ganang sort of yes, approval, or nag-agree siya sa imuhang chat. So, the symbol themselves, class, wala talaga namang meaning yan. Tayo nung bigay ng meaning. No? Unless people agree on what they represent. So, another example. Raising your hand in class. Without saying anything, your teacher already understand that you want to answer or ask a question. So that is symbolic interactionism. Okay, now who gave meaning to that? It's the people. Tayo. It explains how everyday symbols and interactions shape our understanding of the social world. Okay, another example pa. O, kanang sa mga symbols sa CR. Anong kuan ka na ganing murag sa babae kay lingin siya anyong murag na ikatong cross ba na or katong murag arrow. Basta ka lang sa male ug sa female, lalaki ug sa bae, di ba na nga symbol. And kanang magkidhat. O, magkidhat ka sa mong crush. Okay. Basically, ang pagpangidhat, wala talaga siyang original meaning. Bakit yan ginagawa? But based on symbolic interactionism, since people um, interpret meaning and symbol, okay, so binibigyan ng meaning ang lahat-lahat. Dito yung kung anong hatagan yung meaning ang tanan. Even the symbols, the actions. So, ginatagaan siya o meaning. Okay. Another, red ball pen. Automatically, class, the red ball pen represents failing grade. Diba? But, originally, it's just a normal color called red ball pen. naman talaga nagsabi na kung ano rule nga a red ball pen meaning failed. Nag-failed ka. It's just that people give meaning to that based on the interactions, based on the daily interactions with another people. Since ultimately, as time goes by, magsige gamit ana. So that is why gihatagan na siya og meaning sa mga tao. Mag-heart-heart ta, pwede man ta di magano na nga gugma dahil ang meaning ana. Pwede man siya lahi. But still, due to our interactions with other people, na learn na to, kana di siya kay ana ang pasabot. Okay? People tend to give meanings to symbols, to actions, to gestures. Ginatagan og meaning ang tanan. Okay? Now again, the three major theoretical paradigms. We have structural functionalism approach, we have conflict theory, and we have symbolic interactionism approach. Now, class, we have new approaches in the study of culture and society. So, meron tayong feminism, exchange theory, and environmental theory. Okay? Let us stop for this na muna and move on to our next video.